Thank you for joining us on another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams. In today's show, we dive into the issue of safe water as it's World Water Day. We'll take a look at how water from rivers is made safe to drink and show you how the government is getting the liquid to certain farming communities. And later, I'll look at how to protect your backyard gardens from pests. All that and more after this message.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint. An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals. And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 22. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has tabled two pieces of legislation in Parliament intended to strengthen the authorities' ability to arrest crime in Jamaica. The first is a bill which will allow the Prime Minister to declare any high-crime area of Jamaica a zone for special security operations and community development measures.
Criminals operate freely in these communities, taking life, taking property, taking your daughters, and extorting tax to protect you from them. This legislation is designed to give effect to a well-established and practiced security and community building strategy called Clear, Hold, and Build.
The Clear, Hold, Build strategy calls for the security forces to saturate the selected communities in order to displace criminal elements and then maintain a sustainable level of control over the area. The security forces will also engage in psychocultural, social capital, leadership, and organization building and support activities. The Prime Minister insists that the legislation will not be a tool to infringe upon citizens' rights.
Any strategy to address these areas must be comprehensive, sustained, inclusive, and respectful of human rights and dignity of the people. It's not about going in to kill people, and the strategy has nothing to do with that.
Mr. Holness, who was making his contribution to the budget debate, also tabled the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA bill. He said that this, along with the Integrity Commission bill tabled earlier in the year, would strengthen government's anti-corruption activities. While making his 2017-2018 budget presentation yesterday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness also announced a raft of measures to accelerate home ownership for more Jamaicans. Simone Wolfe has the details in this report.
The National Housing Trust, NHT, will begin a housing microfinance initiative on April 1, which will allow low-income contributors to repair or improve existing homes or build their own homes one step at a time.
The Housing Microfinance Initiative provides unsecured credit to meet the demand for low-income households.
The Prime Minister announced other programs designed to address contributors' financing challenges.
The NHT will provide funds to other institutions for lending to current and new contributors to meet specific needs such as titling, infrastructure upgrading, utilities installation, construction preliminaries, valuation reports, housing design, and for completion of different stages of building.
This program, which will also commence on April 1, will give each borrower access to a maximum of $850,000, provided with a loan tenure of between 6 months and 5 years. For the 2017-2018 financial year, the NHT plans to write over 8,000 new loans at a value of $17.8 billion.
With the two policy changes already made, the NHT expects greater take-up from low-income earners. Of note, it is significant, Mr. Speaker, that we are going to be delivering solutions which will be aligned to the affordability levels of persons earning minimum wage.
Prime Minister Holness also announced several mortgage financing changes that will take effect on July 1 this year. The NHG will increase its home improvement loan ceiling to $2.5 million, while loans to purchase lands will also be increased to the same $2.5 million. In addition, any individual contributing for 7 years or more who meets the NHG eligibility requirements will be able to access funding to purchase at minimum a studio unit. And a special incentive will be made to eligible contributors who wish to purchase scheme units.
Subject to affordability, the NHD will offer 100% financing for all the housing solutions it produces.
And as part of its social initiative, Mr. Holness says that effective July 1, the NHD will provide a grant to mortgagors with disabilities or who reside with and care for a family member with disabilities.
The grant is to be used to retrofit, upgrade the dwelling to make it suitable to serve the needs of the disabled.
A contributor who meets the criteria and has a mortgage with another recognized financial institution will also be able to access a special mortgage discount from the NHD. Simone Wolf reporting for JIS News.
And still on housing matters, the Prime Minister has announced a special Jamaica 55 project to be implemented by the National Housing Trust. Over a 2-year period, the NHD will spend $4 billion carrying out upgrading works on selected housing schemes right across Jamaica. These are schemes which were built in the first 10 years of the NHD and which, the Prime Minister says, are approaching the time in their useful life cycle where they need serious maintenance upgrade to shared infrastructure and common facilities.
So many of the older housing schemes were not designed with proper provisions for garbage disposal, common play areas, and amenities which are now standard features for the newer housing schemes.
An initial 28 communities have already been identified, 2 in each parish. The NHD is in the process of identifying additional communities to benefit from this program, looking at the 2 oldest schemes in each parish and then moving on to the next 22 oldest schemes throughout Jamaica. The project will employ an estimated 2,000 persons. In other news, the Ministry of National Security will be acquiring 200 additional motor vehicles for the Jamaica Constabulary Force at a cost of approximately $418 million.
Some 80 motor cars and 120 pickup trucks. We are hopeful that with this first purchase to improve the mobility, we will see much more from our officers.
The National Security Minister was speaking at the recent presentation of a Mitsubishi Rosa bus to the Jamaica Police Federation. It will be used to transport police officers to and from work. The ministry has also identified funds to purchase a sewage disposal truck, which will help to reduce the cost of hiring private contractors to pull sewage from premises occupied by the JCF. And finally, funeral and educational grants under the Poor Relief Program are soon to be increased. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie says the increase will take effect in the 2017-2018 financial year, which begins on April 1. There are more than 20,000 indigent housing solutions across the country, and $90 million will also be provided to upgrade those in need of repairs. Explaining the need for the expenditure, Minister McKenzie says the Poor Relief Program has evolved and is no longer just a matter of providing food and shelter, but of finding ways to rehabilitate and integrate persons into society.
We are increasing the allowances for the drop-in centers, the homeless centers. We're giving more money to support those initiatives.
The local government minister was speaking at the Board of Supervision's recent awards and recognition ceremony held in St. Anne. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
It's important to store water during periods of drought. It's even more important to ensure that the water is safe. Boiling and treating your water with bleach are 2 of the best ways to purify water. If you choose the boiling method, allow the water to boil for 5 minutes, cover and let it cool. Store boiled water in a clean, airtight container and use something with a handle to take out the water when needed. If you use bleach to make your water safe for drinking, use 2 drops of bleach to a liter of water, 8 drops for a gallon, and ½ teaspoon of bleach for 5 gallons of water. Shake well and leave for half an hour before use. Water is essential to a healthy life, so ensure yours is clean and safe for consumption.
It is estimated by the World Health Organization that there are over 500 million people living without a safe water supply close to home. As Jamaicans, we're lucky, as most of us can get safe water to drink directly from our taps. Learn all about the water treatment process in our next feature.
The human body cannot function without water. While you may live for up to 3 weeks without food, you cannot go more than a week without water. From breaking down the food we eat so the body can use it, to helping us heal when we get sick, water is needed for almost every process that takes place in the body. And although 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, drinking it directly from seas, rivers, wells or aqueducts may make you sick. Untreated water contains bacteria and other germs, as well as chemicals that may be dangerous to the body. So in order to get the water from here to here safely, it has to be treated. Water treatment processes differ depending on the source. If the water is coming from a river, for example, here at the Negro River in St. Thomas, it usually goes through an extensive treatment process before reaching the pipe.
Here is where we do the first type of treatment in the form of sedimentation and screening. Behind me you can see where we screen the bigger stuff like the sticks, the stones and debris. Then we come down to the sediment where we separate the sand from the stones. And then this water will leave from St. Thomas and pipe into Kingston via pipeline into the Mona Reservoir.
The Mona Reservoir is the island's largest raw water storage facility and provides the liquid to over 30% of people living in Kingston and St. Andrew. If this is where you get your water, here is where the next step in the treatment process occurs.
Here in the reservoir, we allow for maximum levels of mixing, maximum levels of aeration, as can be done here at the facility. We also, at the reservoir, you allow for settling out of the silt and the suspended particles, dirt particles, that would otherwise be in the raw water. We then take the water from the reservoir and take it to the Mona treatment plant.
At the treatment plant, chemicals are added to further purify the water. Chlorine is first added to kill bacteria.
You have stages that include flocculation, where we actually add chemicals to the water that allow those microscopic dirt particles that are still in the water to be brought together in what we call flocks, and then we are able to skim it off and remove it from the water.
The water is then passed through filters which contain layers of sand, gravel, charcoal or synthetic materials that remove remaining small particles. The final stage is disinfection. Here, chlorine is added to kill any other bacteria or germ.
Ensuring that we have what we refer to as chlorine residual that goes with the water, so that as the water travels along the pipeline to our customers, should it come in contact with any germs along the way, there is enough chlorine residual in that water to destroy those germs and still be delivered to the customer in good quality.
The water is tested all throughout the treatment process to ensure that what you get in your pipe meets World Health Organization standards.
For several years running, the National Water Commission has won the best tasting water in the Caribbean. We have also been acknowledged by the various arms of the United Nations at different points in time as having one of the best quality water in the hemisphere.
That is definitely something we can drink to.
We Jamaicans are a hard-working set of people, and we at the JIS know this. That's why after a hard day's work, you can simply pop onto our website, jis.gov.jm, and be in the know with government news and information. JIS, your information hub.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about PRAEDIAL larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of PRAEDIAL larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. PRAEDIAL larceny is everybody's business.
A large volume of water is needed for farming, but it's not always available to our growers, as some farming lands are far from a water source. Farmers in Trelawney who were faced with such a problem have been given some relief under the GOJ Adaptation Fund. Take a look.
Farmers, the lifeline of the food chain. Water, the precious resource that helps to grow the food we love. Put them together and we get an agriculture sector that will produce on a consistent and sustainable level. So the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is continuously implementing projects to connect farmers with water through initiatives like the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program. The agriculture component of the GOJ Adaptation Fund program is to build farmers' resilience against climate change. With over $250 million Jamaican dollars in funding, farmers in vulnerable communities are being trained in best practice methods such as land husbandry and equipped for rainwater harvesting and improved irrigation infrastructure. Beneficiaries are small farmers in the parishes of Trelawney, St. Mary, Manchester, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, St. Anne and Clarendon. We journeyed into the hills of Low River in southern Trelawney to look at the work being done to harvest and distribute water to the predominantly yam farming community.
The Low River Water Harvesting and Irrigation Scheme is just under $2 million. One of the systems that has been most far-reaching, the fact is that to date we have just about 70 householders that have been connected to the system, and that is directly impacting about 350 community members. This system comprises of an entombment. What we have done, we have improved the entombment. We have built a wall across this area here, about 5 to 6 feet in depth and about 12 feet across. And that has improved the water storage capacity significantly. It was about 9 feet prior to the intervention, and now the 6 feet that we have added brings it to about 14 feet in depth.
To increase the flow of the water from the hill, the 3-inch pipes which connected the system before were changed to 6-inch pipes.
And that is what accounts for the significant pressure that we observe down in the community.
Prior to the improved water system, community members would have to come here and catch water for domestic use, while the farmers had to go to the river to catch water for irrigation purposes.
So you no longer have to go to the river to take up water?
We don't think so.
That's the water that you farm
here.
Pipe run, everything going in process. We don't have to go to the river. We don't have to pay the extra money for you to carry the water.
I think this water system would help us better now.
Presently, we have an approximately 470 farmers who benefit from the system. These farmers presently cultivate some 267 hectares of land. We are encouraging farmers to farm what we call climate-smart agriculture. And this project certainly is a way to assist these farmers in order for them to produce all year round and in order for them to support, especially the import substitution program that the government is presently promoting.
The Low River Water Project was started in 2014 by the residents and Councillor of the Lorimer's Division, Paul Patmore. By enhancing the water system, the Government of Jamaica Adaptation Fund program was able to not only increase the flow of water, but also ran pipes along the main, and the residents took it a step further.
They have gone ahead and invested in pipes, in black tanks, to take the water from our distribution line into their household. So this is a real partnership between the community and the project.
I would just want to take time out just to say thank you to the management and staff of the GOJ project, and we really appreciate it.
Many of the farmers have testified that they are able to go back into production, expand their production, and quite a number of householders are now living more comfortable in terms of having access, increased access to water, both for irrigation as well as domestic purposes. The greenhouse that was out of operation because of the lack of water, preparation is being made as we speak to recommission that greenhouse into production. Transportation comes as far as from St. Anne, Clarendon, Manchester, to collect water, to carry back to those communities to service farmers as well as community householders for domestic as well as irrigation use.
The next phase of the Low River Water Project is to connect the farmers with on-farm irrigation systems.
This year's theme for World Water Day is Why Waste Water? Why indeed? There are many ways you can reuse water. For example, after you rinse the dishes, use that water to feed the plants in your garden. And speaking of garden, if you have one in your backyard and you're worried about pests, here are some simple environmentally friendly ways to get rid of them.
There are many common pests that invade our gardens, such as sucking insects, which suck the fruit as they grow or suck the sap from the stems and leaves. Other types bore holes in the leaves. There are also slugs and snails, nematodes which live in the soil and attack the roots of the plants, and some birds which become nuisances when vegetables get to a mature stage. By preparing the land prior to sowing and spacing your plants so that they are not crowded or shaded, pests won't have the conditions or environment they need to take hold. You may consider integrated pest management (IPM) as an approach to gardening. This method incorporates the use of current comprehensive information on the life cycles of pests and their interaction with the environment. This information, in combination with available pest control methods, is used to manage pest damage by the most economical means and with the least possible hazard to people, property, and the environment. If you see wasps, ladybugs, and spiders in your garden, don't fret, be glad. They are on your side. They are the good guys. And there are certain plants that keep those pesky pests away. The smell of chives and escallion, for instance, is unpleasant for many insects. So by planting these flowers in between your other crops, you can repel those pests.
There's so much that's done to ensure our gardens are pest-free, but sometimes these pests find access points. Master Gardener Rashida Linton will be showing us how to make homemade remedies to combat pests. Alright, how does it go now?
You know, carry on.
Yeah.
For persons who have a little garden at home, instead of going out to purchase those chemicals, you can actually make your own.
Okay.
What you need garlic, onion, pepper, liquid soap, neem leaves, and water, along with your strainer and the containers. Now, what we're going to do, you're going to chop all the items, the onions, the garlic, the pepper.
Okay.
Chop them finely or blend it in your blender. you're going to add 1 tablespoon of liquid soap to that amount. Pour a little water and allow it to seep overnight.
Okay.
That is all. Then you're going to add this mixture to 1 gallon of water to spray your plants. But remember, only soft-bodied insects such as aphids, whiteflies, or snow scales you should use the homemade pesticides for. When you're spraying, ensure to spray the underside as well as the top side of the leaf. So this is just one homemade remedy.
Okay.
A second one, just simple soap water. What you need to do, you can also add 1 tablespoon of liquid soap to a gallon of water.
Okay.
Shake it, put it in your spray bottle and spray your plants. Or after washing, the same wash soap, as long as there's no bleach in the soap, you can use it to pour onto your plants. So it's very simple. Next, what we can do, these are called neem. Neem, N-E-E-M, neem.
Okay.
So you're going to take the neem leaves, pour it into your container, add a little water, allow this to seep overnight.
Okay.
Then you're going to use your strainer, strain it into your container, then add that mixture to a gallon of water and spray your plants as well.
Okay, simple stuff.
They're very simple.
Master Gardener Linton, is there a particular time that you actually spray the plants though?
Yes, since it's organic,
Yeah.
we prefer you to spray early in the morning when the wind is relatively low.
Okay, early morning.
Early.
All right, simple stuff.
So you see, having a backyard garden is a sure way of ensuring you eat properly grown food, save money, and reduce food wastage. Backyard living, not bad at all. One of the things that is affecting the availability of water all over the world is climate change. It is important that we protect our water sources by protecting our environment. Here's how you can play your part in limiting climate change. Keep the environment clean by properly disposing of your garbage. There are some things you don't have to throw away. They can be recycled or reused. What about that fruit peel you're about to put in the garbage? That can be used in a compost heap. Conserve water by reusing it where you can and by fixing leaks to prevent waste. Save energy by switching off appliances when they're not being used. By doing these simple things, you can limit the harmful effects on the environment, making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Today's show has come to an end, but information from the JIS is always at your fingertips. Visit our website at jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter at JIS News or like our Facebook page. Got feedback or comments on today's show? Send us an email at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.